CPS called me and said, "We have your son." I didn't have kids though, and I told them that. The social worker insisted. "Declan Hayes, age 27, correct?" That was me. "You're listed as the father on the birth certificate. The mother's in custody and the child needs placement." I hung up, stared at my phone, called back. They gave me an address. The office smelled like stale coffee and fear. A tired woman pushed a birth certificate toward me. There was my name, printed in someone else's handwriting next to father. The mother's name was Violet Ramirez. I'd never met anyone named Violet in my life. That's when a caseworker brought in a boy, maybe 8 years old, wearing a Pokemon shirt 2 sizes too small. He looked at me with huge brown eyes that held way too much fear. "This is Trevor," the social worker said. Trevor stared at his shoes. The mother had been arrested. Drug possession. 3rd strike. Trevor had been living in a hotel room, missed 83 days of school, eating 1 meal a day. "We need a paternity test," the social worker continued. "But that takes 2 weeks, and we need placement today. You're the only family we can locate." "I'm not his family," I said. Trevor flinched. "Then he goes to emergency foster care. 4th home this kid would have been in." I should have left. Instead, I asked, "How long?" 2 weeks. That's how I ended up taking a strange kid home. Trevor didn't talk the entire drive. I ordered pizza. He ate 4 slices in complete silence, then asked, "Where do I sleep?" I gave him my bed and took the couch. The next morning, we went to Target. He chose 1 outfit, 1 package of socks, and asked if that was okay, like he was afraid of being too expensive. "Get more," I said. "Are you sure?" No kid should have to ask permission like that. Over the next few days, Trevor started talking. He liked dinosaurs. He'd never been to a real park. I taught him how to make scrambled eggs. We watched nature documentaries because he was obsessed with how deep the ocean was. On day 9, he asked, "When I have to leave, can I take the dinosaur book?" "You're keeping everything here for when you visit," I said. His face did something I couldn't quite read. Hope, maybe. The paternity test came back on day 13. I was making Trevor's lunch, cutting his sandwich into triangles because he'd mentioned they tasted better that way. "Mr. Hayes, we have your results." Trevor was brushing his teeth, completely unaware his life was about to change. "You're not the biological father." Relief should have flooded through me. Instead, my stomach dropped. "We've located the mother's sister in Nevada. She's agreed to take Trevor. We need you to bring him to the office tomorrow at 9. That night, Trevor showed me a drawing from art class, the 2 of us standing in front of my apartment. He'd drawn us holding hands. At the bottom, my family. I stared at that drawing for an hour after he fell asleep. Then I called the social worker back. "I want to talk about foster certification. Mr. Hayes, the aunt is already... I need to know what it takes. This is highly unusual. The process takes months. Home studies, background checks, and there's no guarantee." "I don't care. Why would you do this?" I looked at Trevor's drawing, at his dinosaur books by the couch, at his shoes by the door, lined up next to mine. "Because someone should," I said. The next morning, I told Trevor about his aunt. His face went blank. He just nodded and started packing. "I'm going to fight to bring you back," I said. "You don't have to lie. Adults always leave." "I'm not lying. They all say that." 3 hours later, I watched him drive away. He didn't look back. That was 6 weeks ago. I'm halfway through the certification process. My landlord is threatening eviction. I took a second job. Yesterday, a lawyer in Nevada called. Trevor's aunt wants to finalize the adoption. She's hired an attorney to block any custody challenges. She says I'm just some stranger who got confused into caring, that Trevor needs stability with actual family. But here's the thing she doesn't know. Last week, I got a letter from Violet, from prison. And what she told me changed everything about who Trevor really is.